I'd like to welcome Sharice Wheeler from Samson Energy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. So I am, like you said, Sharice Wheeler. I'm a safety supervisor at Samson, and I've been with them for 17 years. I don't have a formal presentation. We're not a distribution company. We are a oil and gas production, exploration and production. And we have sponsored the conference for the last several years. And so I'm just here if you have questions. I do have our website up, which is kind of running in the background and talks about who we are. We are very active in Laramie County, and we're very involved with the community and giving back. We always sponsor the rodeo, and we work real closely with the fire departments and have a great relationship with them in Laramie County. We're very committed to safety and in the environment, and we do strive for excellence there. So like I said, if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to read through the website. But I'm just here to show Samson's support for the conference and for the community.
Thank you, Sharice. I do actually have a question for you. How do you engage your employees in safety efforts? How do you get their buy-in? Obviously, change is difficult, and if you have to make some changes that are add some more layers to things that people do, might slow them down a little bit or whatever. How do you get them to embrace those changes for those things that are going to keep them safer?
Well, and it's funny you say that. I did attend the session earlier with regards to change, and through COVID, we've all had to change our work style, and on the safety side, has been challenging because our whole focus changed overnight. And just trying to keep everyone engaged and stay connected virtually is challenging, because for months and months I was not able to travel. I'm in Oklahoma. That's where our headquarters is at. And so, and our operations are obviously in Wyoming. So there was many months, about a year, that I couldn't travel. However, we did continue to work, and we would hold safety meetings on Zoom and conference calls. And so trying to keep the employees engaged is very challenging, even changing your teaching style and your training style to try to get them to speak up. And but it's safety's on them, and encouraging them to do the right thing, whether I'm in the field or not. And we've been very fortunate and had 0 injuries for the last several years on our production team. And we've only had a couple on the contractor side, which contractors are our biggest challenge, because that's the majority of our business. We only have a few employees and hundreds of contractors that are out there every day. So those guys, have to be engaged and understand what they're supposed to be doing and promoting, because they're out there every day working with them. And it definitely has been challenging last year and a half.
Thank you for that. This is set up as a meeting rather than a webinar, so everybody was muted on entry, but you should have the ability to unmute yourselves. And if you have any questions for Sharice, or any questions about anything at all, I think might not be something that Sharice is prepared to answer, but if you got something that you want to get a dialogue going on, this is a chance for you to interact with our sponsor, Samson Energy, and with Sharice. Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions or make comments or whatever you want to do. The chat feature is also available, and I don't have that open. I don't see any chats in there yet. But Sharice, you said that you're, and I know that you're active. Yeah, I've seen Samson sponsorships in a lot of places. Why do you do the? it's an Oklahoma-based company. You do have these roots here in Laramie County. What drives you guys to be sponsors of so many events?
It's just important to us to build relationships in the communities that we're in and to give back to them. And we have a lot of landowner meetings anytime that we're getting ready to do any type of drilling program. If there is population around us, it's important for us to meet with them, and that way we can answer any questions that they have, so that, you know, it's, if you're not educated on what we're doing and how it's done, you can things that are happening that aren't really correct, and it's nice to be able to people. And so by getting our name out there and being available for questions, you know, we do a lot with Meals on Wheels and FFA and the 4-H, and you know, we've just always done that. No matter where we're at and where we operate, it's just been important for us to give back to the community and be, because we are there and we operate. Like I said, even though we're in Oklahoma, it's still important for us to have a presence in Laramie County.
Great, thank you. We did have a question come in. Cynthia asked, could you give me more information on the contractor safety side? How do you address the issues of safety with contractors rather than with your?
That's a good question. Like I said, that is my biggest challenge. We are very fortunate. We use a contractor management program called PEC Veriforce, and our contractors are required to be part of that program so that we can keep up with our contracts and their insurance. And then it gives me the opportunity to look at their safety record and their safety programs and their incident rates. Kind of gives me an overall picture of how they're doing, and I can interact with them specifically if there is areas of concern. But when you have hundreds of contractors, you've got to have a management tool to do that and to keep up with all the expiration dates on insurance and work comp insurance and stuff like that. And then they also are required to put in their annual OSHA stats so that we can keep up with their injury rates. And if they have all the safety programs that are required, environmental requirements, and do they hold safety meetings and on the topics that they should be having. And so that's the biggest tool we have. And almost all of oil and gas operators use some type of service like that to keep up with it.
Thank you. Can you tell us what the program is that you use as the management tool for that?
It's called, it was PEC Safety, and now it's called Veriforce.
Is that Veriforce?
BERI, Veriforce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
And they also help with the pipeline industry. You know, maintaining contractors on the pipeline world. That's kind of where they got started. And then they've just migrated into more than that now.
Okay. That's good to know. I think that answers the, yep, we got a thank you from the person who asked that question. It's always fascinating to me to see, you know, for the oil and gas companies like yourselves, it's not just safety that you have to think about, and you also have the environmental concerns and then, you know, everything else that a business has. How do you navigate all of those different and sometimes possibly contradictory regulations and concerns? How do you make all that mesh and make it work?
We have a safety and environmental team, and that is very challenging when you operate in more than one state, because on the environmental side especially, all the regulations are different. And so knowing what has to be reported, how many on a spill, you know, how many gallons do you spill and it has to be reported to the state, or what spill prevention plans are required and what air permits are required. And so our our EHS staff keeps up with that, and we have consultants that help us that are local to the area to keep up with all the requirements. Wyoming does have many regulations on the environmental side where we're required to do a lot of things quarterly and annually. And we've been involved with many inspections, and we have a great relationship with the regulatory side, which is what you want to be. You know, you're open and you do what you're supposed to do and things go smoothly.
Excellent, thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions? You're welcome to use either the chat, or you can unmute your microphone and ask the questions directly. Therese, do you have any other big programs coming up or big projects that you'd like to talk about, or anything else in that realm?
We're just currently drilling in the county, and looking forward to, you know, getting some more production on next year. And you know, we've definitely had a lot of new contractors, and we've been very, very fortunate with the up and down in the industry. You know, we get a lot of people back in when we start back up that may have no experience at all. And I know a lot of operators have had a rise in injuries and incidents because of that, but we've been very fortunate, and we've got some really good contractors that we work with. So it's been an exciting drilling program this year.
Excellent. And I know that's, you know, kind of come up and down, and it sounds like you guys are back up on the upswing with that.
Yes.
How do you attract new workers? Are you having trouble with getting new folks to come and work, or when you do you have any tricks to kind of help get those applicants when you're not seeing as many as you'd like to see for new jobs coming up?
You know, we have ran into some challenges on the contractor side with just finding enough people to work. A lot of people through COVID were not working, and they've either changed their careers, or we've had to have several contractors lined up because some just don't have enough crews to do the work that's out there with the upturn. So that's been the downside, is just there has been several companies that just can't find any help, unfortunately.
Gotcha, thank you. We do have a question. I think this person is asking if you are willing to share your contact information. I'm not sure if that's what they're asking or not, but there is a contact us link on the website
The contact us, this is just our general information. If they have something specific, you know, on the safety side or oil and gas industry side, I'd be happy to talk to them if that's what they're asking.
I think so. I'm not sure. The person that asked that question, if you could clarify that, if that does not answer the question, we can try to answer that. And the next question that came along was, has production changed over the last few years?
Production, if you're referring to technology and the way that we do things and the way that we produce, yes. I've been in the industry for 17 years, and every year's a new year. You can't ever know it all because the technology is just crazy, with how we can drill and produce so much safer and faster with the technology that's out there. And even with directional drilling and the way that the rigs can walk, you know, we're drilling 6 wells on one pad, and the rig actually walks from well to well. You don't have to rig it down. And we're drilling longer laterals, you know, and the technology's there to do that. And then to produce and getting the equipment up, get the safety systems in place, and just the environmental pieces of equipment have changed tremendously over the last several years. Just so you don't have the emissions anymore. Everything's buttoned up tight. And so yes, it's constantly changing on all aspects of it.
Very cool, thank you. Another question here says, Wyoming's boom and bust. So I was looking for trends. The other information you provided was very informative. I think that was just the comment.
Statement, yeah.
But yeah, I really do appreciate you joining us and giving us this information. If anybody else has any other questions, we can ask those. Otherwise, Director Cooley did want me to let you know, she sends her thanks for your sponsorship of the summit and for joining us in this meeting. And actually, Director Cooley is here with us, so I'll let you take over here.
I would just say thank you so much for your help and support with this. And I was listening to your comments regarding assistance for your workforce. If there's anything we can do to help you out, please let us know. We've got a lot of options for you. We've got a lot of opportunity for outreach to help you out with that. And we're happy, and that's what we do. So we're happy to help you out.
I appreciate that.